Have you ever wondered what's inside a disc lock like this? I certainly have. Let's go ahead and pick this open and then we'll cut the back out of one. And then we'll take a look at it and see how it actually works. Okay. And there we go. Stick around, let's do it together. Hello, welcome back to Locklab 101. What we have here is a standard disc lock. These are commonly found in like storage units, securing sheds, stuff like that. But I've always noticed that on storage lockers, they usually have this type of lock. So what we're going to do, let's go ahead and we're going to pick this open. And then we're going to get another one and we'll cut the back out of it and see what actually happens in here. We'll see how this actually works. And let's look and see if maybe there's a bypass we can exploit. So I'm going to pick this in my hand, but first I'm going to scope it, see what we got here. Yeah, surprisingly tight keyway. And one, two, three, four. Okay, so there's 5 pins in here. So 5 pins. I don't expect any security pins, but then you never know. I'm going to do top of the keyway tension, and I'm going to use one of my thinner picks here. And let's go ahead. See here where the best way to, not how I usually like to run my tension, but let's see what we come up with. Okay. Okay, got a little click on pin 1, pin 2. Pin 2 is binding, but okay, let me ease up on the tension just a little bit. Okay, got a little click on 2. So there's 1, 2, let's go to 3. Get right on top of it. Okay, click on 3. Let's go to 4, right on top of 4. Ease up on tension. Okay, click on 4. Feel like when this opens, I'm going to lose this tension bar. Okay, let's go to pin 5. Right on top of pin 5. It's always good before you try and lift the pin to know exactly where your pin is, or where your pick is in relation to the pin. And that's why you see me going back and forth, because I want to make sure I'm right on top of it. And I try to be as surgical as possible. Alright, so I went all the way through. I got to click on each pin. See what else we got going on in here. I may have lost one of the... So I've picked these before in the past and had them picked open, but just didn't have enough rotational tension to move the shackle, because the core actually pulls the shackle around, and we're going to see that in a second. After I get this open, we're going to take a good look at it inside of one of these. Okay, and there we go. Alright, so what did I just learn? On disc padlocks, I need to put a little bit more turning tension once I think I'm close to shear line in all pins. So the first four pins, fairly light tension. And then when I think I'm getting close to the fifth pin, I'll start feathering that tension a little bit. Increase a little bit more, a little bit less, a little bit more, a little bit less. So that as soon as I get all pins at shear line, then I can crank it open. Because that is a tremendous amount of tension that's required to... Okay, we locked it. That's fine. So, this is picked open, 5 pins. Let's go ahead and take a look inside of it one. Sorry, earlier I cut one of these locks open, and let's go. I'm going to pull everything out and then we're going to take a look at it. Okay, so here's the shackle. This is what actuates the shackle. I'll show you how that ties into it. And this right here is a shackle lock. Okay, so without this, you could just take a pair of pliers with enough effort, just ratchet that open, because it's only sheet metal keeping it in without this little dog here. Okay, so this is the shackle. Here's the locking mechanism. Here's a locking mechanism. 5 pins, 5-pin tumbler lock, 5-pin tumbler. You can see that. The casing is made out of plastic, And that's probably because of a all-weather resistant feature that they advertise. So what we got going on here is this here rotates. Once the pin tumbler is open, or once the pin tumbler is unlocked, all pins at shear line, this tab right here will rotate this shackle down. At the same time, this failsafe right here will be moved out of the way. So let me demonstrate that. Maybe it's better if we put it back in here. Okay. Okay. So watch this failsafe dog right there. As I turn the key, it's picked up, and then that tab that the key actually turns is gonna open the shackle, and does right like this here. That's probably the best way to show that. This here rotates the shackle, and this here allows it to rotate. Right like that. Okay. Is there an ability to bypass this locking mechanism, this 5-pin tumbler, if you gain access into the center of this? Because I actually think you could have pretty good access on the side of this lock here, or down this down there. You have a lot of space in there, more than most locks. And so if you kick this up, if you were able to get a hook in here past this, kind of like the handcuff keys, put a shim in here, it still won't rotate, but you could probably overpower that plastic piece in here. And if you put a shim in there like that, you could probably overpower it, but it would also destroy the lock. So that's definitely not a surreptitious method of entry there. It would actually be destroying the lock. So even though these are quite open, right now I don't see a bypass method that would allow you to get in here without like a really quick bypass. I don't think so. But that right there is the locking mechanism. Pretty interesting. Whenever I was presented with a lock that I had to pick open, and I knew I wouldn't have a lot of time to do it or whatever, I project a lock. Let's say, okay, you're going to have to open a lock like this. Okay, what would my methodology, what would my thought process go through? Okay, first off, I'd buy a bunch of them. I would cut at least one of them open, and I would learn the internals of this lock like nobody's business. Okay, I would turn it into a clinic, because knowledge facilitates success, right? The more you know about a lock, the more you can visualize what's going on in here, the better off you're going to be when you're picking it or when you're defeating it, whether it's with a bypass or even picking it. So even though I believe I would still just pick this, just knowing what the mechanisms are in here it gives you a peace of mind, and it puts you in the right mental state in order to be a successful lock picker. That's really important. Okay, so that's how I would go about it. So if I bought 5 of them, I'd dissect one, and then I'd just pick the other ones until I was very, very familiar with this plug, those keyways, the pins, and that style of lock. And I would just do it in repetition until I felt very, very comfortable with that style of lock. So that's how I would do it. Okay, well, that's all I have for you today. I hope you learned something and enjoyed that, looking inside this disc lock. I personally had never looked inside one before, and I had some assumptions of what was going on in there, but I didn't know for sure. Now I do. Okay. If you did enjoy that, please consider watching my other videos, like and subscribe, and as always, thank you very much.